Summit Hearing Solutions is on mission to reconnect your loved one with hearing loss back to your family. And Ted, it's not just hearing, as we so often talk about, it's understanding.
Understanding is key. We do speech discrimination testing, and we make sure that it's not just the audiometry. The audiometry is a map of where we need to go, but if you can't hear and understand people, that breaks down all of communication. Look at it this way. It's like painting with either a broad brush and just a modeled color, or are you with a very precise tool and making a beautiful picture? And that's what communication is, as opposed to hearing.
Yeah, yeah. And again, that's going to change from person to person.
Right.
So they really you have to be able to get the feedback that you want so that, people are reconnecting.
Right, and we're talking about very subtle sounds too. When someone says, well, I hear you, but I can't understand you, they're specifically saying something that is ringing in my ears that I know that I can help. We're talking about the consonant sounds, or if, let's say that I say the word pick and it sounds like brick to you, or something like this. That is an issue with a very specific area in your hearing. And at Summit Hearing Solutions, we hone in on those areas and support those areas so we can get that sound back to you. So we're literally looking at communication, connection, and understanding, as opposed to just hearing. There's a huge difference between hearing and understanding.
I'm told to ask you about this, and I'm nervous because I have no idea about what the answer is going to be. But you suggest wearing two devices, not one. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, unless there's a medical reason for not wearing the second device, even today when folks have been told that they have a deaf ear or a dead ear, we actually have technology today that can give them bilateral correction and bilateral sensation of hearing all around. But if you have a hearing loss in both of your ears, we are not just stopping at the ears. You have a problem with your brain. You need both sides of your brain to work properly as well. You can't solve a full problem with only half an answer. And that's what bilateral hearing does. It gives you the full sensation of hearing and understanding, because one side of your brain takes care of the hearing, the other side processes speech, other portions process music, and you need to make sure that you give your brain the full opportunity to take care of the problem.
Yeah, and again, if just because you have my ears working doesn't mean my brain is working.
Exactly.
It goes back to understanding.
And learning how to hear again. Hearing is incomplete. Hearing is the brain's ability to interpret sound and volume. Without communication, hearing is just noise. And that's when we talk about with our patients. They say, well, why is it that when I turn up the TV, it's still blurry? And they use a visual term to describe that. It's because the places that you're having the most trouble, no matter how loud you try, you cannot make them go beyond their specific amount of sound. And we need to be able to support those areas specifically. That's the understanding portion of your hearing.
And I think most of us understand visually, just because you make something bigger, if it's still blurry, it's just big and blurry as opposed to little and blurry.
Exactly.
You really need to tune it in. And then the other word of, I guess, advice for folks is if you have a device that's more than 5 years old, it's really almost out of date.
Yeah, well, especially as fast as technology is going, oftentimes what you find is it's called distorted, or it's saturated with sound. Oftentimes when you get to a device that's that old, the circuitry has aging, just like anything else does. But more importantly, is it helping you specifically? And there are tests to make sure that that device, it may be something as easy as just tweaking it, putting it on the computer and making sure that it's updated to where you are today, or is it saturated where the circuitry cannot keep up with your hearing loss?
Yeah.
And then something else could help you.
If you would like to find out more, join them at their new location as well, southwest on Illinois Road, as the previous locations where you could find them before. You can also find them online. You see the phone numbers to get a hold of Summit Hearing Solutions. We'll be right back on Insight.